Well, hey, how you doing? Welcome. I didn't notice there's anybody on the chat. Hello, everybody. Welcome. We're just going to give it about a few minutes before everybody starts coming in. I usually start like around 6:05 or something around there. I do apologize. I do happen to have like some hiccups and then have a cough still going on from whatever this is that I have been going on for the last couple of Zooms. Welcome to part 10. This is the 10th meetup that I've been hosting for this real estate wholesale analysis. All previously recorded, uh, all previously recorded meetups, which all of them do get recorded, are available on my website. I'll drop the link to the website right now. So that way you guys can have it and then go back to like some previous meetup events. If anybody wants to introduce yourself, or if you have like a property by any chance that you want us to analyze, because that's what this whole series is about, analyzing deals, um, you can definitely, by all means, do so. Just let us know. And then let me drop this link. So that's the link to all previously recorded Zoom events, and then only any and all other educational stuff about real estate wholesaling will be available in there. Some of them including contracts, some resources. There's also quizzes if you guys want to take quizzes. Um, there's some posts about finding buyers, because again, this whole series is mainly about analyzing, but I'll get to that in a little bit. Just gotta let everybody come in slowly and steady. And also happy Monday, happy MLK Day. Hopefully, a lot of you might have been off today. Some of you might have been not off, and then you're just getting off from work. So welcome. Thank you for joining. Oh, Shima, you're back. Welcome back.
Ah, yes.
Nice seeing you again.
Thank you.
All right, let's see here. Let me minimize this. You guys can put it on the chat as well too. You don't have to unmute yourselves, but you guys are able to see the presentation by any chance?
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. And like I was mentioning to you, Shima, I'm not sure if you remember, the series does repeat like a lot of itself. So I'm sure like at one point you would get tired of seeing like the same presentation, but there's always something new that I try to bring into place. So thank you for being very consistent, because again, this whole business about real estate wholesaling, it is a business, and it's all about repetition, and just until like it gets like into your mind, and then you're able to do things. You're able to do things just out of just secondhand nature. It just comes out naturally. That's what it really takes about it. So thank you for really being very.
Yeah, no worries. No, it's not repeating at all. So it's a new deal. So, and I always come with more questions. So
Hey, by all means, drop them
thank you.
at the Q&A time. Definitely drop all questions, because it helps out anybody who else is new. They never heard your questions. They can read
Yeah.
them, or if you have new questions, by all means, they just.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yaniv, my mic and camera are not functioning. Okay, that's perfectly fine. You can just drop like I'm able to see like your comments on the chat. So any questions and everything you can definitely ask through there. Yaniv, sorry, a lot of your mic and camera don't work. It's perfectly fine though. As long as we're able to see your messages, I'll definitely answer them as well too. All right. So I'm just gonna give you still like a few more minutes for anybody else who's gonna be coming in today. Let them take their time, and then slowly and steady as we actually do start, then everybody is gonna actually start showing up from here. Let's see. Okay, so I have that. Um, oh, I didn't pull this thing up. All right. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start, and anybody else joins definitely joins will come on along and they'll catch up, or you can rewatch it. But welcome everybody. My name is Elton, like Elton John. I've been really eager about starting this series, and then the community has actually been growing like very significantly in a span of 1 month. We're already there's already about 90 people subscribed like on the meetup. I'm not sure where you guys got the link from. If you are got the link from meetup.com, by all means, great. Definitely continue following, as this is a repeating and continuous series. Like I was explaining to one of our continuous and repetitive members that just being consistent on this business as well too, is just being consistent. That's number one. But also when it comes to real estate, things are very different across the board. So something new can always pop up. New laws are popping up. Just new rates are coming in as well too. So everything in real estate is constantly changing, and that's the thing about it, is about constantly being repetitive. In this business, it helps you stay updated on a lot of things, because this really business is not like anything else out there whatsoever. It's not like retail shops have their highs and lows, but it's already a repetitive pattern, while real estate is never repetitive on maybe getting new deals if you're looking into like the business of acquiring properties, yes, but things are going to be still very different, like on the back end on it. So that's the reason I love like this business. And then my background has been a lot in finance, sales, and marketing. Those have been like my previous ones. So as I was experiencing and getting acquainted more with real estate and real estate wholesaling, because I started with real estate wholesaling, I got a chance to actually expand like a lot, network as well too. So if you guys do want to networking does help out significantly, because you're able to meet up people who can definitely mentor you, who can guide you, who can answer like a lot of your questions. Doing it by yourself, you're constantly going to be stuck in this little bubble like of just asking yourself questions and then doubt, and there's just going to be a lot of negative connotations on that side. So always be open-minded to everything. um, and just continue hustling it out as much as possible, because again, this business does change significantly, and it will forever continue changing, but it is a generational wealth as well too. So look into like investing into your own. So I started as wholesaling, slowly transitioning into becoming like my own investor. So I'm looking into like buying some properties out of state. So I'm looking a lot into like landlord friendly states, because they have certain regulations where it's more like on the investor side rather on the renter. Like here in California, that's where I'm based out of, here in Long Beach, California. And then over here, things are just getting way too expensive. So get a chance to spread out there. There's about 50 states. Honestly, if you were to stick to like 49 states, because Alaska is just like, I don't know who wants to live out there. There's some people that do, and then some people that already live there. But that wouldn't be my state. I'll prefer to look into like the other 49 states that are more correlated and close to each other. And then the reason I get going back to like where I started the series is because part of the process of real estate investing and real estate wholesaling, there's a little part where you have to do due diligence, but you also have to understand where that due diligence comes down to. And a lot of it is really numbers. That's what real estate is all about, just numbers, when it comes to like acquiring and selling and closing, to marketing, and then to get like a lot of deals done. Because again, it is a business that you want to think of where you want to make like your profit as well too, because there are going to be certain expenses or certain things that are going to come into place into the business that is going to require some capital from your side. But just overall, part of the what I got stuck into, and I'm sure a lot of other people are getting stuck or have been stuck, is through the analysis side, and that's what we're going to be focusing on this series. And that's what the whole series is about going through analysis, paralysis, and how to overcome that, and how to understand how to go through like the numbers, because real estate wholesaling overall, these are all the steps that are needed to get like a deal done. It's not just about, oh, getting a property in the contract and then assign it to like somebody else. No, it's a little bit further more down to it. So these are the major steps, and these major steps have little steps in between them as well too. So those little steps is what build up all of them, but these are basically the major ones that come into place. The main one that I'll be focusing on this series, and this is what the whole series is about how to go about getting estimate repairs, and also how you should be bringing like your offers in, and what's the maximal allowable offer that you should be bringing in into whenever you're finding somebody who's interested in selling, if it's a direct to seller or if it's a if you're working with real estate agents. That's the way I started working with agents, just because they were already doing a lot of the marketing, a lot of the calling, and they're putting a lot of properties. And then some properties, some of them close quickly, the ones that are maybe already fully updated, or there are certain things that other buyers look into. But there's some of them that do happen to be like on the market for 60, 90, 100, 200 days. They're listed on the market, and those could be potential opportunities as well too, where you can bring a low offer because maybe the seller is just already fed up and now nothing's actually really happening. Maybe they got properties on the contract and they have to cancel them out whatsoever. So there's just a lot of things happening, but it is the agent's responsibility to bring that into like the table. So sometimes you got to work with the agent as well too. And the way you work with an agent is by letting them know, hey, I don't have anyone representing me on my side. If you're able to bring my offer to to the table, then I'll allow you to have both sides of the commissions. And they'll definitely work with you on that side, because especially with the property, there's been zero activity. There has in a couple weeks or a couple days, there's just been a lot of things happening on the property that it's just like the seller is just giving them the feedback and they're trying to like work on the numbers, or there's been a lot of price drops. So the sky's the limit on that side. But basically today we're gonna go through the major numbers side of the properties, or and analyze some of those. One of them is it's a deal that I actually found that I was looking to invest into my own. But when I was doing my diligence, I wanted to bring that example, if it's a deal or no deal. And we're actually going to be playing a game of spin the wheel, where it's going to select a random city out of all 50 states, actually all 49 states, and see where it lands, and then try to analyze and find like a deal on that property. Because part of this series, I'm not sure if it's like episode 2 or 3 or one of those, we actually came across a property that was one deal, and then one of the properties that we're actually comparing it to was actually another deal. So a lot of things can happen on this series. Or if you have like your own property, by all means, that you want me to like analyze and show you some of the things I do, that definitely has worked for me, then by all means, I'll definitely show that as well too. If you have that, but I'll also show it on one of the other examples. So when it comes to doing like a lot of the numbers on real estate wholesaling, the very first thing we have to think about is after repair value, what the property will be valued once it gets fully updated. That is the number one step a lot of investors are going to be looking into when they're looking for like a property. Sometimes they like to call it opportunities, sometimes they like to call it properties, whatever it is that they want to call it. ARV is going to be the number one thing that they're going to be looking into that property. And then the rest of the steps, they all going to do things very differently. Uh, Everyone that I have a comments that are buyers, again, they've done different things. I do notice that investor one, investor two, they're really close to each other. These are the two most common ones. And again, every so often you're gonna have a third investor that's gonna do their analysis very differently. And that's perfectly fine, because the more you get to know like your buyer, you're able to get like a sense who to bring offers to, and also depends on how active they are as well too. But once you have like once you're able to find like an ARV, the next step is to go through repairs. And how do you estimate repairs? I've noticed across the board, it is pretty standard. Some states are going to be a little bit more expensive on the labor side, as well too. Materials are going to be the inexpensive, but it's going to come down to like the labors, and also how inflation has been as well too with the market. That's causing a lot of the prices to go up. But when it comes to the actual repairs on the property, these are the average repairs across the board when we're looking into repairs. So for example, light repairs, that's usually for like a carpet and paint type of repairs. These kind of repairs are going to be more on the rental side. So if you have a property that's being rented,
and it's constantly being rented, and it definitely could be a good rental to keep on.
You got a social, bring it here and we can run it. I'm the one your favorite rapper run. Look, it's getting super.
Yourself.
Be a rapper, we're not buddy. I took a break from Instagram, that broke shit rubbing off. Quit flexing with that petty 20,000, that shit pissed me off. You doing too much on Instagram, so I'ma take you off.
There you go. Sorry about that, guys. So when we're looking at properties, when we're looking for like those type of light repairs, it's definitely going to be more on the rental side. So probably it's going to be like a rental buyer that's going to be buying and holding this the property. More average repairs and gut job repairs is going to be fix and flippers. These are the guys that are constantly updating and selling homes within 4 to like 6 months, depending if they're in buying and investing in locally or if they're doing out of state. Most of them do it locally, just because they know like the market area, or they already have their contractors already in place that they already know their numbers, which bring their costs down like as well too. And then when it comes to repairs, I don't like to spend like a lot of time into it, because an investor can go both ways. They can spend thousands of dollars, or they can come down to like a few $100s when it comes to doing to like the repairs. Not a few $100s, but just like the thousands of difference is going to be very drastically. That's why I want to stick with like average, and then we'll go through that as well too. Next thing, when we're looking at a property as well too, that it's the most important and critical step overall, is finding similar properties that sold within the same area, and also there's certain parameters that we're gonna be sticking to for these properties. Is the parameters that we want to apply and definitely stick to at all times when we're looking at comps. That's what they're called, or comparables. These parameters, these are what other investors, not other investors, what appraisers follow. When appraisers follow these, they strictly stick to these parameters, because they're not going to be crossing major roads. This is one of them over here in Long Beach, is Ocean Boulevard. They're not going to comparing a property that is the same square footage, the same two-level house, same year and everything from one side to the other. They just won't cross those streets whatsoever. They do stick within like a half mile to 1 mile radius. And for sometimes these are it's applicable more to like the Midwest, when you're finding like farm style properties, or the properties that have like a lot of acreage into it. Then you do have to consider the square footage of the lot size into those places. And not every property you have to look into like the square footage. Most of it comes down to like the living space, which is going to be the plus or minus 300. And of course, when we're looking for properties, we want to definitely look for properties that where other investors have come into that area, and they're investing 3 to 5. I mean, you're looking for 3 to 5 comparables that other investors have gotten into that area, and they've updated a lot of the homes from there. Additionally, when you're looking into getting like a property under contract and you're working with the seller, everything so far is coming smoothly, and you get a sense that you get a motivation out of them, and they actually do want to move on forward with the offer that you happen to bring over, which we'll get to that in a second, how to come up with those numbers. You do have to apply certain contingencies into place, and those contingencies are basically some of them will be non-negotiable, some of them can be negotiable. But these contingencies are basically terms that will give you the time frame for you to find like your end buyer. So for example, the first things first is working with the seller, or like on the time frame it will take to sell the property. This will vary from 21 to like 30 days. Sometimes you can even tell them we can add 15 extra days into it as well too. But so it really depends on where the seller is, how quickly, if they're already fully moved out, not moved out, or what's actually happening. So that time frame of closing, it's all about working with them. This is something that is negotiable. I always like to bring it kind of afterwards. I don't like to bring it up front, but paying the closing fees, that's a beneficial for the seller, because again, it brings them more money into like their side. So that way they can get a sense that they're getting the most out of their property when bringing the offers in. Earnest money deposit. This is basically the earnest interest that you have on a single property. It is pretty standard to stick to 1% across the board when you're looking at properties. If any properties are less than $50,000, it is recommended to like stick to $500 and more. But anything below $50,000, don't bring a $300 EMD. Try to bring a most either $500 or like $1,000 into it, so that way there's a good amount of earnest interest into the property. Because if you don't bring earnest interest into the property, and then what the seller can do is they can look at other buyers behind you without them having to disclose it for you, and they ended up closing on that deal just because they brought earnest money interest into the deal, where it kind of helps you lock it up. Sometimes they're gonna try to get you into putting more into like the deal, so that way they can show how serious you are. But it's just like you can definitely play that, but most of the time it's just sticking to like 1%. Additionally to this one is the major one of them all that is non-negotiable, is doing an inspection period, having an inspection period. And what this inspection period is basically doing a couple of things, which the number one is giving you more time for you to find like an end buyer. Two is helping you prepare for your marketing. So you're gonna be heading into like the property, or if you're doing virtually, have somebody head over into like the property and then take pictures for you. Maybe set up a lockbox as well too. So that way, any buyers that are locally, they're able to check it out themselves without you having to be present. It's just letting them know about what the code is, and then they can check it out as well too. And then from there, just continues finding buyers for this inspection period. The reason I put in into the parentheses is the Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. through 5 p.m. time frame only, is because I like to tell sellers these are the days that we actually, a lot of my contractors work, and that's where we're gonna be sticking to like these time frames, and it just works perfectly because they know, okay, we're not time restricted. It may seem like a little bit longer when you're looking at a calendar basis, but it just works really smooth on the 15 days. Sometimes they're gonna even ask you like, why do you need such a long time frame? It's because we want to make sure you're doing the due diligence, checking out the property, getting those estimates, because not everybody's going to be all your contractors are not going to be available on the same day. You have different type of contractors. You have the building ones, you have the cement ones, you have the electrical ones. So everyone's going to be doing things, and they're not all available 24/7 for them to inspect it. So that's why we stick to those days, because we have to work on different schedules where you're going to be coming into checking out the property multiple times, and it's just going to be different people. But when you're telling the seller, you let them know these are our partners, these are our contractors, the ones that we're going to be coming in to check out the properties from there. And then usually when it comes to depositing the earnest money deposit, it does get deposited into to the title, the real estate wholesaling title friendly title company locally within the area that you're looking for the property. And then you want to deposit the earnest money either before on the last day when you're fully satisfied, or your end buyer is fully satisfied that they actually want to move on forward with the deal to get deposited, and then your end buyer actually deposits that earnest money to title. Sometimes it can come out of your pocket as well too, so that way you have like the interest into it, and then you can have your end buyer deposit more, so that way you can show them, have them, just in case for whatever reason they back out, you still make a little bit of something, or if you want to stick to like an even number, so that way they're able to get something refunded, or you get refunded, but nobody loses besides like the end buyer. You can make it negotiable or non-negotiable from there. So those are extra little things going on.
I have a question here.
Yes.
So, from these notes you have here, my understanding is, so you go sign the contract, purchase contract with the seller, and then the inspection period starts. And during this inspection period, you basically find the cash buyer. And after the inspection period is done, you start sending the documents basically to title company and pay the deposit. Is that right?
You can bring the purchase contract to the title to let them know, because again, if you're looking for a title company that it's real estate wholesaling or investor friendly, so that because they'll know off the bat what it is that you're doing, and a part of the contract, they're gonna read the contract as well too, and sometimes they're gonna ask you if you're gonna be wholesaling this one or what. and then you can bring like the so it just varies. It depends on how many deals that title company has done things. Again, they're gonna be asking like some questions to you of what is it that you're doing. Sometimes they don't even ask you anything at all whatsoever. So this really depends on how that title company likes to do things. Because again, all title companies slash escrow, they're gonna do things very differently. Just like real estate agents and real estate brokers, they're gonna do things very differently. Even if they're in the same state, same city, they just already know a lot of things and they already worked on previous deals. It just depends how smoothly things are from either your side, the investor, or your side as a wholesaler. So it just comes down to like that title company.
So I mean, I'm talking about the order of like you're doing things. You wait until the inspection period complete and then start like sending the documents to title company, right?
Yeah. But sometimes what I like to do, for my preference, I like to bring in like the contract, the purchase and the purchase agreement to the title company, because again, they're gonna see part of the contract is gonna say and or assigns, which is perfectly normal. They're seeing that already whatsoever. And then from there, they're gonna be like, okay, this is gonna be assignable. Another contract where you have to bring it over, but they're gonna be part of your contingencies that you're not going to be bringing in the EMD until you're satisfied with your inspection period. And they're going to be seeing that as part of the terms. Because again, they're going to make sure they're going to look at your contract and then go analyze everything with the property. So you can bring the contract on day one to the title company. So that way you can start working it. But if it's already like in the afternoon or evening, then it's always best to bring it in like the following day. So that way they can be like, all right, cool. Your first day actually starts today then. And then go through your inspection period. And then once you're fully satisfied on or before, you can bring your EMD over to us, which they'll give you like their banking routing number and their checking account number, and then you send it over to them on your side. So you
Got it.
don't.
And like after you're finding the cash bar, you also send that assignment contract to them too,
And
right?
then and then once you're fully satisfied with it, then that's when you within the inspection period you bring them. All right, cool. Well, you already have my purchase and sale agreement. Now here's my assignable contract. We already again, this could be on or before or on the last day of your inspection period where you're fully done with all that, and then everything looks good. That everything's going to be moving forward. Then that's where everything gets wrapped up from there, and then you just continue going from there.
But so imagine like you bring the title company, you have a contract with the seller, and then it happens like during the inspection period, you're not finding any cash buyer and you want to cancel. So you already paid for the title company too, right?
Yeah, if you pay for it, they'll refund it back to you. Because part of the contract it does mention that if you deposit it on your side before like your end buyer, like it came out of your pocket. Part of the contract it mentions that your earnest money deposit is refundable.
But I mean, the fee you paid for the title company, that's not refundable, right?
Yeah, so that's all the thing. It all depends on how they do like their fees, because again, that's we want to check if they're real estate wholesaler and investor friendly, or if they're not, then they're gonna start charge. They are gonna charge you fees from that. So that's why
Got
you
it.
want to make sure that you're looking and don't just try to find one and then let it be done. Try to find multiple of them because you want to see which title company it works best with, because that's the one that you want to bring other deals and you want to constantly be doing deals with them at all times. When they see when you're bringing in the contracts to them to the same title company, they're going to know how you run things and everything, and it's going to be very smooth. So again, it's a relationship business that you're bringing over to them, that just for whatever reason, part of everything is mentioned in the contracts, and then they'll work with you on that side. So that's why it is necessary to find a investor slash wholesaler friendly title company.
Okay. And how do you find them? Like, how do you find the wholesale
Just literally type
friendly?
a title slash escrow on either the zip code or like the city that you're at. I'm in Long Beach, so title companies near me or title companies in uh, or Indianapolis, Indiana, and then from there it's going to show like all the lists, and then call them. You have to call them.
I see. And tell them like I'm wholesaler.
Yeah,
Are you guys
I'm a
accept those?
wholesaler. I also invest like on my own as well too. But right now I actually have I'm probably working like on a deal that is going to be a wholesale deal. I just want to ask and see if you guys happen to work with a lot of investors and wholesalers, or do you guys don't work with a lot of investors and wholesalers? And they'll let you know on their side
I see.
what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah, so type in
Thank you.
escrow, city, zip code, and then it's gonna pop up all the lists on Google, on Google Maps, on Apple Maps, and then start calling all of them, and then find like 2 or 3 of them that you like the most, and just go from there, and then try to bring some business and see how they do things, because again, they're all gonna be doing things very differently.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Of course. All right. So the next thing is, I'm gonna be doing what's I like to do a deal or no deal. This is the example that I was bringing into that I was gonna bring into place. This is one of the examples that I was looking to invest into my own, and then the other one is gonna be a live one where we actually go through Redfin, Zillow. We're gonna be looking for some properties, analyze those, so we'll get through that side as well too. Any other questions you guys do have along through the presentation, you just go, by all means, stop me or put it like on the chat as well too. We can go from there. But for this one, this is a property that I was looking for in Alabama, Montgomery, Alabama. The reason I liked it is because it was really close to the University of Alabama. It's a really amazing school when it comes to like sports. So there's a lot of student housing, a lot of student renting like on this area. And then for this property, and this was actually listed on Zillow, and it was listed for sale by owner. For sale by owner means the owner wants to sell the property without agent representation whatsoever. So the reason they'll do that is because they don't have any money to pay for like the agent, or they're already very tight like on their finances that they just can't bring that whatsoever. But the seller is listing it on his or her own. The seller is asking $159,000. I'm always going to question where the price came from. If it's a professional agent or if it's a homeowner, I'm not going to ask him where did that price come from, because either they have somebody or they actually did like their own due diligence where they know. And then sometimes they just know like their neighborhood very well. They know what's actually happening like in the area. They'll tell you, oh, well, this home just sold a couple months back at this price. It's like that's really good feedback, because again, they're the professionals who know the area very well. So it's always good to ask about like the neighborhood as well. The property, it is I like properties that are over 1,000 square feet. And just because it's just a lot more space into it, and then a lot of people I've noticed that they stick between 1,000 to 2,500 like square footage ones. Properties more 3,000 are like vacational homes every so often. So I like between 1,000 to 2,500 for like square foot homes. So this fit within my criteria. And then it's been listed on the market from the owner for about 60 days. Right now, it's probably like a good like 65, maybe 66 days already took, because it's still available. And then that's the address as well too. And the last thing is the property, the owner has been doing some price cuts. So the owner actually had it listed at $190,000. And then slowly and steady, he was doing some price cuts. The last price cut the seller did was close to like Thanksgiving, and it was around $30,000. So the seller is already losing $30,000. They don't have it listed with the agent because they're already very tight. So it's just little things like that come up that again the seller already kind of knows, either has other investments, or again somebody guided them and helped them out, that it was just overpriced, that they had to do like all those price cuts. There hasn't been any price changes ever since then. But now the next thing I'm gonna look into is what's actually the motivation for selling the property and what the property's condition is. The motivation, the way you find that motivation from a seller is simply asking like, hey, Mr. Seller or Miss Seller, well, what's the reason for like the property? Why are you selling like the property? Are you by any chance thinking about moving, downsizing? You got a new job opportunity? You just don't like the area, or what's actually happening, and let them speak and they'll let you know what's actually happening. And then property details, same thing, you got to ask them about the property details. So for this property, I do notice like a few things, and I'm gonna ask you guys based on the repair costs that we were looking at earlier. Just start listing all of them. What are some things that it needs, and then try to. I don't hope you. I don't want you to remember like these numbers specifically right now, but I want you to start listing like, or you can put in the comments as well too. What are all the major things that is it going to need so far from the very few pictures that I have over here? What's everything that is going to be listed on the repairs? First things, I'll call mine first. Mine is going to be the floors. Definitely update the floors. But what else does it need?
Paint, kitchen, bathroom,
Yes, paint, kitchen, bathroom, lights, Rico,
lights.
definitely lights, as well too. Check out the utility or check like the panel for the lights as well too. See if that's been updated or if it's outdated as well too. Because I don't remember, if I actually do remember, it's 1960 home. So I don't know when's the last time that got updated, if it actually did get updated whatsoever. What else? Bathroom, kitchen, floors,
Mhm.
paint. Yeah, that's pretty much.
Appliances, fridge,
Yeah.
stove, those are stuff.
Yeah, and then definitely even the sink,
Sink.
even the
Mhm.
sink as well too can definitely get updated. So all that, and then anything external, maybe check like on the sidings, check on the roof, check on the water heater. So those are all little things that we do have to check. But based on these pictures, um, we're basically going to be estimating the number of things that we listed so far. We're more like on the average repairs. So that we listed so far: floor, kitchen, bathroom, paint, and lights. Just like how it was mentioned by Rico. That's pretty much everything that we needs. So I did my estimates on how much it needs. I'll say roughly around $42,000. So now I got to do my analysis. First things first is the asking price on the property. The seller is asking 159,000. Next, we are going to be paying closing fees. So again, part of the contingencies, it's either you have your end buyer pay for it or you don't have your end buyer pay for it. If you don't have your end buyer pay for closing fees, the closing fees are going to be between 4 to like 5%. If you do have your end buyer pay for it, then it's going to be double. So it's going to be close to like 10%. So for this explanation purposes, I am going to have my end buyer pay for the closing fees. That way I can get like a better deal out of it. Next is the repairs that we got to think about. I averaged it out around $35 per square foot, which came down to like $42,000 on those repairs. Again, the end buyer can spend more or they can spend less. That is truly up to them. I'm just bringing what's roughly estimated. And then sometimes it's even simply asking like the seller, hey, Mr. or Miss Seller, if we were to fully update like the home, about how much do you think we will need um on the property? Just roughly, I'm not saying that you're a professional that but how much would you spend on like updating like the property, or roughly? So just give me like a run, and they'll tell you as well too. Well, if you were to update it, you will need this, and that. Well, I actually put like $5,000 on a new HVAC. All right, cool. So we don't have to worry about that. But they're gonna start telling you like everything that they already did themselves and anything extra. And just try to get like their opinion and get them talking about the home, because again, they lived on the home for either some time or they only lived there for like a few years. But again, they know their home and they know the area very well. So it's always about putting all those questions to them. So that way they're going to explain to you everything, what's actually happening on that side. So the next, I do have to think about my investor's profit. If I happen to have like a buyer in this area of Montgomery, Alabama, let's say I come across a buyer that likes to do like 15% of profit, then I'm gonna make sure I add the profit. And basically, if we were to sum all these numbers up together, then we will need about $250,000, or find a similar home that sold for $250,000, because that's how much is going to need to like all those expenses do add up. You're going to add the 159 plus the 15 plus the $42,000 in repairs, plus what you want to get out of it if you were to invest it yourself, or if you were to look for like another investor for wholesaling it. Then you want to make sure you bring your profit in. And basically, this is the kind of property that we need. This is how much we need to sell the property for all the numbers to work out well. And then for us to be able to purchase it at the asking price that the seller is asking. Now we got to take the.
So hold on. The investor profit, is that like wholesaler profit or the cash buyer profit?
This is the cash buyer. So again, this thinking as a buyer.
I see.
So this is the buyer side, because again, we part of the wholesale deal is you have to cut into some of the investor profit as well too. So that's why buying a property at the asking price and then the end buyer gives you a whole different number below that, then it's not really going to work out, because again, they're going to do their numbers. This is what they're going to be thinking about as well too. Repairs, their profit, and if they have to pay like any closing fees, or if they want to pay like for any points as well too. There's a lot of things that are coming to like play into those expenses. So an investor who's very active, they're gonna let you know off the bat, either they want a dollar amount or they want a percent amount. And they already know how much they're on their back end. They already know how much they're gonna be spending if they have to pay the closing fees and any other type of fees whatsoever. Maybe if you wholesale over to them, they're gonna think about that as well too. Okay.
Got it.
So this is basically just understanding as a buyer overall. So now the next step that we have to do is we have to check out the neighborhood, what the neighborhood is telling us, and if we can find a property that sold for $250,000 within the last 6 to 9 months. That is the that is the preferred time frame. Anything more than 9 months, it's not really going to work, just because again, real estate market is constantly changing every so often, and especially with how inflation is going and is going to be heading as well too, things that are still going to be changing. So then now to understand the neighborhood, our property was somewhere over here, like in the middle, between these two green circles. But this is the whole area that we're looking into. And the reason I closed it out to this specific area is because we have quite a good amount of big roads. We have a freeway over here, and it looks like we have like a busy street over here. And this street off the freeway, it's an off-ramp exit. I'm thinking this too can be and will be in a busy street where there's trucks or just a lot of heavy traffic coming in this area. So again, going back to the appraised parameters that an investor will look into, again, they're going to be sticking with these parameters over here. And part of it is not crossing those heavy traffic roads or double yellow line roads on this area. Which the way you can look at into it is you can do like Street Viewer, go to Google Maps, and then go through like Street Viewer, Redfin, Zillow, all those websites let you do Street Viewer, so that way you can check out what the streets actually look like. But when I was doing my due diligence, that's what I found out, and that's why I have to close it out in this area. So if there's like a property that's sold outside over here, I can't really compare it to that, because again, that's crossing that major road over here. Or even this one right over here that sold for like $122,000. I can't even bring in that, because again, I confirmed that this is definitely a double yellow line, that it's a heavy traffic road whatsoever. Okay. Now, when I look at the details of the properties, again, I'm looking for properties that sold within in the last 3 to 6 months. The first 3 that popped up are going to be like the most recent ones. So this is the most recent activity for this area. And the first top 3 is the ones that I like. One of them was fully updated. One was in better condition than the other one. And then this one didn't have any pictures whatsoever, but on the description and the history of it as well too, when I was looking into it, based on the description from the agent, it said that the property was fully updated. So I'm going to use it as my own discretion to use that property as a comp. So now what I'm going to do for each single property or each single comp, I'm going to get what the property sold for. I'm going to divide it by the square footage of the actual property, and it's going to give me a dollar amount per square foot. That's what I want to get over here, because this is gonna if I average all 3 of them out and then multiply by my subject property that I'm looking to, then it's gonna give me a basically it's gonna give me my ARV, and this is my actual ARV based on what's actually happening in that area within the same neighborhood, and what actually sold recently in the last 6 to 9 months. This is what actually sold. So when I average all my comps, if I have to have 3, if I have to have 4 or even 5, then I will average all them out, get the average price per square foot, multiply by my subject property, and that's going to give me my realistic ARV. And then you might be asking, well, how come this one, it looks fully updated, so for $180,000? Why did that one sell for a lot more? Sometimes it's all about appraisal as well too. So you can bring that into like the table, but right now we don't compare just one property to another property whatsoever. When you're analyzing everybody, agents, appraisers, they're going to be analyzing a good amount of properties, 3 to 5. Usually is the recommendation for it, to make sure that they get an accurate number of what's actually happening on that. Occasionally, you will find just one property, and then you have that one investor that they're just cash heavy, or it could be a hedge fund as well too. They don't really care if they have one comp or they don't have like a comp. They're gonna do their analysis, but sometimes they'll buy that property at the price that you want, because again, they're more investing long term and they work with that route. So all buyers are going to be doing things very differently, but you also want to play it safe on your side as a wholesaler and do your due diligence and see what the actual facts are when you're looking for comparables on it. Any questions so far? I know it was a lot of information just on those 3 slides. No? Okay, that's pretty fine. If you do, just go ahead and put them in the chat, or you can cut me off as well too. Next is, now I gotta figure out where I need to bring my offer into place. So the seller is asking 159, but the actual after repair value happens to be $140,000 for this neighborhood, for this house. Then I have an end buyer. They're willing to buy it at their investing rule, 70%. Someone will do 75. Someone will do 80%. It all depends. For just experimental reasons, we're going to use the 70% rule, which is the common one a lot of investors use, which is they're going to spend about $42,000. We're going to spend about $42,000. They're going to spend about $42,000 in repairs. And basically, our end buyer, if we were to get it under contract for, let's say, $120,000, and we show that to them and they do their numbers and they let me know that, oh, I can't buy it for that much, I need to buy it at around $56,000, then the deal is not really going to be working whatsoever. So then I have to renegotiate like the deal. Maybe I got the deal like under contract rather quickly without doing any due diligence. That's already like a red flag off the bat from not doing proper due diligence. So it is necessary to do like due diligence, because this is the realistic answer that you're going to get from an end buyer, letting you know how much they will want to actually purchase the property for. And part of the investing rule of the 70%, 10% of it is going to be all those fees, the closing fees, any extra title/escrow fees that they're applying, maybe points as well too into it. And then again, they're going to want to make between 15 to like 20% like on their deal. So that's part of that as well too. Now we also,
How much is usually like the title company fee? How much is it?
it's very different. It all comes down very, very different. It's varies per state. It varies. It's just very different because it depends on how the end buyer wants to do things. They want to buy points. They don't want to buy points. Each rates how much they're putting down as a down payment. So that across the board, it really depends. It's gonna be very different. Okay. Now let's say for the purpose of this, we are wholesaling a deal, and then we also want to consider our wholesale fee into it. Let's say I want to go with the wholesale fee of $10,000. Then this is basically gonna be my maximum allowable offer, which is gonna come down to $46,000. And that's a huge difference from $159,000. But again, I have to question the seller. Hey, Mr. Seller or Miss Seller, how'd you come up with $159,000? And they're gonna end up telling me what actually happened, where they get the number from, or what it is that they did for them to get such number on that property. And then from there, if I wanted to, if that's my maximum allowable offer, I'm not going to be bringing that offer right away, because then I'm not going to have a good amount of room to negotiate. So I do have to start more like $10,000 lower. That's where I usually like to start, or it really depends from there on where the numbers get applied. But for this deal, I basically want to come in around $36,000. off the bat, it's gonna get rejected. But again, I'm trying to negotiate and figure out what the sweet spot is. So I will increase my my asking price, my offer price, I mean, by $5,000. Then I'll bring my maximum allowable offer. Or if I need to, or for whatever reason, you know what, I'll just cut a little bit off my wholesale fee. Then I'll go up as high as $51,000. So that way I'm able to get from my buyer at least a $5,000 wholesale fee, or maybe cut into some of their profit as well too into it. Because again, whenever I bring an offer to an end buyer, I want to tell them how much we are selling like the property for. Yeah, they want to buy it at 56, but hey, not every deal is going to be perfect for them as well too, just like how not every deal is going to be perfect on our side. So that's just part of the negotiations. But telling the end buyer how much you want for a property, it's always best than to have them than rather asking them, hey, how much would you want to purchase this property for? And it's just more like an auction, and a lot of buyers don't really like that. And if the numbers don't really work out, they really don't want to work out with you ever again. So again, it's really working with the end buyers as much as possible, because if they like how you work, they like how you do your due diligence, they'll end up buying more and more of your deals. And again, until it comes to a relationship that whenever you have the next deal, they're just going to take it off your hands right away, because they already know how you do things and how you run your business on your side whatsoever. And
I'm sorry, you said the wholesaler pays for the title company, right?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. And so, but if you want to, that's the thing. So whenever you're doing like the earnest money deposit, those are a part of the fees that are going to be included for the title. Is you have your end buyer or give you that earnest money deposit. Just because you pay for it doesn't mean that what's it called, that it has to come out on your side. You're always going to have your end buyer pay for all those fees on your side.
Oh, so you're saying wholesaler pays for it, but when talking or like signing assignment contract
Yeah,
adds those fees to even the title company fee.
into the title.
Okay.
Yes, end buyers are always going to be paying for everything. So your goal is to have zero out-of-pocket expenses, and then just
Mhm.
maximizing your wholesale fee from there.
Okay, got it.
Does that make sense?
Of course, yes.
Awesome. So now I'm going to be doing a live example on the properties. Let me see. Let me share this other screen real quick. So there's going to be a live example on just us doing like our homework and seeing what it is that we're able to find together. Let me minimize this. What's this? Cool. Just gotta move some things around. Let me know when you guys are able to see my screen. Are you guys able to see my screen again?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, cool. So this is the my website, elsonvargas.com. Again, head over to the education site for like the previous recorded Zooms, quizzes, and then any posts about buyers or anything. We're constantly uploading those onto that as well too. But for today, we're going to be using let me actually minimize this. So we're gonna use the spin the wheel. We'll see what city it is that we get. We're gonna try to find a deal on that city. How I do.
I do my dirt inside of Nike Tech. If I see a junkie laying on the ground, I'm coming taking everything he got on. Put some new shit on my neck. I'm trying to put it.
I don't know what's up with all these random people coming into here. I apologize about that, guys. But all right, let's see here. So we're gonna be doing Gulfport, Mississippi. I'm basically gonna be showing you guys how I filter down my my parameters of how a lot of buyers look into these things. So Gulfport, Mississippi. All right, cool. Mississippi. First things first, I want to I'll get to know like the area. So I'm gonna be looking more into the county. I'm just gonna be selecting a random property because Redfin and Zillow as well too, they'll give you the information on what the county is. And I want to do the whole county. So Harrison County, Mississippi is my area. All right, Harrison County, Mississippi. And then from
So
here,
one question. So do you like even care like what neighborhood you're selecting to like do research to make sure that's a good neighborhood, or like it doesn't matter that much?
so that's the thing, is about selecting like your market. That's where you have to do like your due diligence and see which market you want to do. Because if you want to do wholesaling virtually, or if you want to do wholesaling locally, if you do it virtually, there's a good amount of markets out there. Seeing how active it is, all markets really work. Some states it's illegal to do real estate wholesaling whatsoever. The first deal can come, I think it's like Illinois, the first deal can be completely legal, but then the second one you need to have like your real estate license. Some of them just completely is illegal to do real estate wholesaling. So you do have want to do like your research on the market that it is that you're looking into, just so you can understand how it is in terms of like investors, like one like it could be from like Utah all the way up to like Maine. There again, those markets are going to be very differently. So it all really depends on what market it is that you want to get into. But before you head into that market, analyze like the market, how active it is with like a lot of fix and flippers. Buyers is gonna be like the easiest thing to like come across, especially buy and hold buyers. But it just get like a sense, and then sometimes just go through like the pictures as well too, to see if they're still like in their old condition, or are they getting fully updated whatsoever. So all those little things you do have to consider into that. But when I'm looking for a property, I look at the neighborhoods. I look at if the property is close to like schools, what's happening like around the neighborhood. Because anyone and everyone's gonna tell you like, if you were to reach like a seller, if you were to reach all sellers right here of Harrison County, I don't know what the age group it is that I'm looking into over here. There could be a lot of older people. I don't know any schools close by whatsoever over here. I'm seeing some golf courses, two of them already within a good amount of size on the county. So it could be like a lot of retires over here. Actually, three golf courses already off the bat. So I'm just looking at those little things of what's actually happening over here, and get to understand what kind of age group of buyers and sellers, I mean of sellers that are in this area are into place. And then from there you can continue searching deeper into it. Look it up on Google. What's the average age group on Harrison County, or on Gulfport, Mississippi. So it's all about just doing like your research on that whatsoever.
Okay, thank you.
So from here, I'm looking for a fix and flip a property. I'm looking for a property that it's either outdated, or it's like in really bad shape. These are properties are listed with an agent, because again, I work with a lot of agents. They're already doing the back end for me of marketing and cold calling, and doing everything on that side. That I just want to come in and let them know, hey, I'm a buyer that is interested. I am out of state. I'm not able to check out the property. And I try to get as much information out of them, so I can understand what's the story for this property, what's the story for that property, and go from there, and let them know my terms and how quickly we're able to move things if they'd be interested on accepting our offer, and let them know that, hey, I don't have anybody representing me, so by all means, you can take both sides of the commission. Sometimes their brokers won't allow them to take both sides, and it's perfectly fine. They can definitely work around that as well too. Some states it's illegal for real estate agents to take both sides, but again, there's a way to work around that as well too, and that's called doing a transactional brokerage route, where the broker will be involved, and then they work with the agent on making sure the agent gets paid his or her commissions from that side. So anything, there's always an issue. There's always a workaround. It's about just either experiencing that issue, or just trying to find answers to that, and how it is that you can get around it, which it comes down to like network events, Facebook groups of other investors. Sometimes you see posts on those Facebook groups of other people going through different issues, and you can learn from that whatsoever as well too. So you want to look for those type of events, and communities where there's a lot of activities going on from other experienced buyers and wholesalers. But from here, I'm going to be looking for properties that are single family homes. I'm looking for properties that have been already sitting for like 45 days on the market. And again, I like my properties that are 1,000 square feet and higher. And the oldest property, the most that I'm looking for that is currently built is a max of 2005. So these are all my parameters of what I'm looking for some properties. And off the bat is giving me 166 homes. I don't see it as 166 homes. I see it as 166 different agents that I can list, because all these agents are, their volume levels are going to be very different depending on how they do their calling and how they do like their marketing. So that 166 agents to bring you 1 to 2 properties, that's bringing you what is that, 200 300 and 322 different properties in just 1 year. It comes down. Some of them do a little bit more. Some of them just do one. So it's going to vary from that. So that's the way I picture it with agents. And again, it's just working their relationships with them. Now I'm looking for, of course, like the low price homes. Try to see where the property is located. Um, Off the bat, that this first one, it's right over here next to like the airport, and there's a middle school right next to it. So to me, those are 2 green flags: local airport and local middle school. And it is the only thing I'm seeing, it is really close to the highway, but it's not right on to it as well too. And additionally, it looks like there's a pharmacy, there's like maybe some stores and just local places to like shop. And then up the street looks like you have like a plaza or and also Walmart. So to me, this is already like a great deal going on so far. But again, I still got to continue going through my due diligence to see what's actually happening with the property. It is a little bit small. It's a 1 bedroom, 1 bath. So but maybe it could be like a big lot, or I don't know about that. So that's why I have to like check it out, and also check out what the description from the agent is. So far it says converted to an office space, a new business venture. And to me, I'm not looking for that type of property. I'm looking for like a homeowner. Um, but what about the square footage of the home as well too? All the information is going to be over here. Approximately 1120, no basement. 11 They don't have pictures either. So this is more one of those properties when they don't have pictures. It really sucks because they really want you to call them and get all the details. And then sometimes they don't want to give you details. So it's really a burden. So good location, good neighborhood, good opportunity off the bat, but not so good because I have to take extra steps to it. Next one, I have this 70,000 property, a little bit more south, close to like the beach area. Not too bad. A little bit bigger home. Was it 1,200 square foot home? 1182, almost 1,200. And this thing doesn't want to load for whatever reason. Let's pop it up one more time. May I suggest a prop in San Luis? Yeah, we can definitely use a property in San Luis because this one doesn't want a prop whatsoever. Especially San Luis. San Luis, it's a heavy area of investors. It just depends like on the area, but let's check it out. I'll do it for you. Go. Let's check it out. So somebody gave us an example, so let's use their example and let's see what's actually happening on this property. Are there pictures on this? Oh, it is listed with an agent. Nice. Or is it for sale by owner? I think it's just my internet being kind of slow right now. Just about that. All right. Okay, good. This is a good home. Where is it located in San Luis? Kind of scared because of that whole forest area in the back. Let's see. Okay, so let me duplicate this because one thing doesn't want to load and the other one's being very slow. Apologize, guys. Looks like my internet is just being very slow right now. So they're asking 54,900. Let's check out the pictures. So off the bat, I'm listing it. Windows, floors, walls. Take out that wallpaper too. Get rid of those boob lights. Kitchen floor, not too bad, but probably can do like a black and white type of tile. Lighting. I don't, is this the kitchen? That's a small kitchen. So kitchen, again, just paint. So we are kind of getting like on the heavy side of it, of repairs. Can this pop up? All right, cool. Where are you? What part of? Oh, you're at the border, close to Illinois too. Trying to see what's happening in the area. We have a freeway. Cool. So this will be my so I'm gonna head over to schools. So now I gotta find for some comps really quick. Where's that? Need to find the zip code. So I'm looking for the zip code so that way I can start looking at the area. So this is basically my whole area, my subject property. It's right over here. Go back to like the picture on Coburg Lands. So this is where Coburg Lands is located at, right over here. So now let's look for some properties that sold in the last 6 months based on Zillow. Not a lot of activity on this area, Rico. So we do have one property, but it's a 2,000 square foot home. Comparable to ours is 1104 property. So let me just filter it down just in case. 6 months. Was it 1104? So I'm gonna go with 1,500, 1,400, and then 750. So not a lot of activity in the area. So this is what I like about Zillow and also Redfin. You're able to do like your draw. So you have this draw button right over here. And I will stick to over here. This is gonna be basically my area that I'll be looking for comparables. As you can see, you only have one. Again, sometimes you can get away with one comp. And then at times that you can't. This property did get fully updated. So they did a good amount of work on the inside, just a little bit touches on the outside, but they did paint, flooring, kitchen. This is basically what you want to see like on the neighborhood. And so far there's only one investor on this area, which is a green flag and also a red flag. So this will be like an investor that I want to reach out to. But this property sold, so the history of it could pop up. And the way you look at the history, you got to use all the resources. You can use PropStream, or on this property, I'm going to use PropWire. PropWire is complete for free. The only thing you have to pay for is to skip trace a property. So if you wanted to reach to like the owner, that's the way it would go. And then what I want to look for over here is who the previous owners were. Which it doesn't show me on the previous owner's name. That's what I was trying to look for. Actually, yeah, it doesn't show me the name whatsoever. Because this gives me a name, but that's the thing. There's no other. This could be a couple, honestly. So Tyler E. Jr. Hamilton and Lay PC Martin. I'm sure there's partners. So that's the only thing about it. So I'll try to get in touch with the agent who sold this property. But this sold in July, so all that information is already gone on our side, even through here. Oh no, it's still here. Cool. So I will get in touch with the agent. So I already found like a buyer because this buyer did the work. To make it easier for me is I'll let the agent know. And this thing is working with an agent is you're doing two things. You're bringing them they're bringing another deal to the same buyer or same fix and flipper that worked on this property Two, you can pay them a portion out of your wholesale fee as well too, to bring the property over to them. You don't have to let them know off the bat. They'll sometimes they'll ask you, or sometimes they'll just do it just because they want to get another property in the same area. And depending on how quickly they were able to sell this property, which if you go to like the sale and history of it, it did take about 4 months. Yeah, it did take about 4 months for them to sell it, and it actually went higher than the asking price. So they started at 145 and it went over $4,000 higher. So that's really good for like the agent. So I will reach out to this agent, Mark Fowler, and let him know, hey, if you happen to get like the property in the contract, which we'll go through the numbers right now. Hey, I actually have another property. I saw that you sold 1040 Gardo Court in July. I actually have another property in the same area. It's a little bit bigger. It's 3 bedroom, 1 bath. And I'm not sure if your fix and flipper for that property might be interested in another property by any chance. So that's how you get an open opportunity for an end buyer for that. But now the question comes down to how much do I get on the contract? So we found one property. This could work. Again, there's been times where one deal, one comp can definitely get away, but it's going to be like a long shot. So let's say we go with this number. I want to get the price per square foot, which is 154. So off the bat, I'm gonna start. This is the calculator, the ARV calculator. You guys can have access to the ARV calculator by using not gatekeeping, the coupon code, and you have access to all this, the ARV calculator and like a rental, the rental side as well too. If you're looking for like for a property for yourself, let me just type it in on the chat real quick. Not gatekeeping. That's going to be the coupon code so that we have access to the calculator complete for free. But this is the way everything that I was going through the presentation. This is everything set up right here. I'm trying to wholesale this property. The property is listed at $59,000 or 54. I think it's 54. 54,900. So let me change this. 54,900. The square footage was 1104. Awesome. Is there a basement? I know some properties in St. Louis have basements as well too. Let's see. Basement. Fort here has heating. It has a full basement. That's the only thing about it too. Let me I mean, again, I'm using all resources as much as possible so I can get all the proper details on the property to see if it can give me the square footage. So the living space is 975, but it doesn't give me the basement square footage whatsoever. And I know sometimes Redfin gives it to you at the bottom. Lot size, county records. So that's the only thing, because we do have to think about a full basement, but I don't know if it's like a finished full basement or unfinished full basement. It's usually like 50% of it, of the living space. 1104 divided by 2. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the 500 for right now, just in case of anything. Our end buyers could be paying like the closing costs. So far, it does give us our possible purchase price for this property. This is not the end price just yet, because again, we have to figure out where it is at the moment. Based on the repairs, again, we listed a good amount of things: windows, floors, lighting, kitchen, bathrooms. And again, maybe the roof does look a little bit old, so that's gonna be a little bit expensive as well too. So it's going to take a good amount of repairs for this. So I'm gonna call it really close to a little bit more on the gut job repair. So again, 45 to 60 is going to be the like the gut job repairs for it, and then up to like $40 is going to be the kind of the average repairs. So I'm gonna play safe. I'm gonna go with $50 per square foot. Based on the square footage of the property, and also the lot size. If you're looking at a basement, for example, for this property, is always going to be half the price of the living space. So if the living space is $50, then the basement square foot update is going to be half of that whatsoever. If it was 30, then it'll be 15, and so on forth. So over here, we're looking at a basement, update the basement, and update like the living space. So we're looking at around $67,000 and $700. Again, it is listed with an agent, so I will even ask the agent roughly about how much does it need, like on the living space and like on the basement, if they happen to work with other investors as well too. Sometimes they'll let you know, oh yeah, you can get away with like this amount. And sometimes I will use that as a reference, and then I'll use my due diligence to see how far we are from each other, and then let the numbers speak from there. But for right now, I'm just analyzing based on my calculator. So the total repairs is 67. Let's say this investor wants to make $15,000. And as for this investor, I'm talking about this one that sold it for 150. Then basically, we got to look for a comp either based on the asking price. What the agent has it is really close, and then all close to what I actually sold 6 months ago. But there's no other activity whatsoever, so we are playing at danger on the danger waters. So I'm gonna go with my possible purchase price, but again, we only found one comp for right now. Now again, we're gonna put in the average price per square foot on based on that comp. And our subject property, I'm gonna put it 154, all of them around, because again, it is collecting the average. If we were to leave this blank whatsoever, then your average is gonna come down way lower. So if you want to average it out to a specific square footage, especially if you're using only one comp, then you have to put 154 all across the board. So that way it can show you how much the property can sell for. Again, the reason it's going to sell for $170,000 is because our subject property is bigger than the comp that we're looking at right now. So keep that in mind. Why is it going to be priced a little bit more? So this property could sell, or the ARV can be at $170,000 based on that one comp. And then from here, that's what I'm going to put in my ARV. That's what we're able to find at the moment. I'm looking for a fix and flipper buyer, or maybe somebody who, again, I'm looking for multiple buyers. It could be a fix and flip, or it could be a buy and hold. I don't really care. I want to see who's really interested, like on the property. And then now it gives us the asking price right over here. So this is how much our end buyers will want to buy this specific property. Thanks to you, Rico. This is how much they will want to purchase the property for based on what the property is. Again, if you have a conservative end buyer, they're going to pay a little bit more because, again, they maybe have somebody they already worked with and they already know the numbers. And then I like to be the aggressive buyer. I always want to go with the lowest just in case any other expenses come into place. So we're looking around 51,300 for them to purchase it, which is not really bad. So this deal can work. So my starting point, going back to that, is again, say I'm thinking about a 10,000 wholesale fee. I want to get the property on the contract for $41,000. But if that's going to be my wholesale fee and I need to get it for 41, then that's the thing I want to play. I want to slowly come up to that, but also get a sense, which for this property has been sitting for 312 days. That's way too long already. I'm trying to help out Mike Fowler, which it looks like is the same agent as the other property over here that sold for it. So I'm kind of surprised that this agent hasn't really brought this subject property to whoever did this work on this property, which is a red flag to me, because that was the person I was going to bring it over to them. Maybe that end buyer is not really going to work for them because it's been sitting for way too long. So if the same agent is listed on both properties and they still haven't closed on the property, maybe this buyer is not buying, or just the deal is not really going to work for them. And that's the reason why the property is not really working whatsoever. So maybe you have to find an end buyer. And how do you find an end buyer? Locally or out of state? It's pretty simple. I actually put a whole blog post about it. how to find like buyers locally, and I go through step by step on. I use PropWire. So PropWire is completely for free because PropWire you can find everything and anything through it, most of it, completely for free. But I walk through how to find each single buyer for whatever area you're looking to, county, whatever it is. Everything is right there on the step by step. So if you are looking for a specific local buyer, because this one for this deal is not really going to work, you have to find somebody else, then that's how I will go about finding this specific buyer. But the only thing about it is the area, there's not a lot of activity. So that end buyer, whoever it is that you end up finding, is kind of taking like a gamble because the last investor was this one over here, whatsoever. Yeah, my pleasure, man. So hopefully that helped out on that deal. So to me, I will flag this as a no deal, even from the beginning, just because there's not a lot of activity. And if you notice, how this specific neighborhood, there's not a lot of activity, but if you head south, you have this whole neighborhood over here that is very active. So maybe you're just looking at a bad area, that you just have to look a little bit more south, and then you have way more activity happening over here of San Luis. So instead of looking for that property, try to see if you can find something over here in this area. And if I were to look for myself right now, for you, it looks like we have 3, 4, 5. We have quite a good amount over here. Um, and you try to find maybe a buyer. Try to see if you can find like a deal out of these properties that are already listed out there. Because again, that's I'm looking for where the activity is at, and that I just showed it to you right now where the activity is from there. So that can also help you out from there. Any questions? Anything you want me to go back to? I know we went over a little bit, but that's perfectly fine. Again, my purpose of this is to bring as much knowledge and information and steps to help you find your wholesale guidance, your real estate wholesaling guidance business up to par. But this is where I leave it open for any Q&A. No questions? Nothing? All right. Well, if you want to go back to like everything we just talked about, again, this is recorded, so it will be available on my website, eltonvargas.com. Head over to the educational side. Everything's there. Get the calculators complete for free by using coupon code not gatekeeping. And then you're going to have access to it. Get the pro bundle, or if you want to get individually, that's perfectly fine as well too. The same code works for both of them. But the pro bundle gives you access to the rental and the ARV if you're looking for investments of like your own. But that's pretty much it for today, guys.
I have questions. Do you have time?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was asking a lot of questions today.
No, you're perfectly fine. Go ahead, Shimon.
So, so basically, like after you analyze the deal, you go find the buyer before the signing the contract, right? Is that how you do it?
So I like to right away. The reason why is because my offer, I don't know what I like to tell if I'm reaching out to agents, I like to let them know like if my offer is at this price, they're gonna give me some feedback off the bat. Oh, we got offers, this and that. So it doesn't really matter. I'm trying to work with them. Let's say I bring an offer in and they're like, well, let me get back to you. I'll get in touch with my seller. When they tell me that, I can get an answer the same day or I can get an answer the following day. Most of the time it's the following day. So I'm not gonna waste my time. I'm not gonna waste my time just doing nothing whatsoever. I'm gonna be looking for other properties, but at the same time, for that area, I'm gonna try to find like a buyer. So right away, I'm trying to find like a buyer off the bat, so that way I can make things a lot flowing and kind of give the buyer some details. Hey, I'm actually working on this property. It needs this amount of work. I can't disclose the property just yet because we're still working on it. I can give you like the area, and then how much it needs like in repairs. But I'm not sure. I just try to ask him like how active they are. How many properties are you looking to like invest to this year? It's a new year. They want to set their goals already, or they already did set their goals. When's the last time you bought like a property? Are you looking for more? Are you looking for properties that are fix and flips, or are you looking for buy and hold properties? Are you looking for properties that are already fully updated, or are you looking for like properties that just need a little bit of touches, just minor touches? What is it that you're looking for? And trying to get like a sense out of them. But if I like that buyer, I also like to ask him, well, do you invest only in this area, or do you like to invest like in other states by any chance? So that way it opens up the opportunity for me to work with them on other areas as well too, just in case I have another deal from a different area.
Got it. Okay, so I mean, for somebody starting, it's better to find a deal and then start finding the buyer, or it's better to like build a long list of cash buyer in one area and start finding deals over there.
Uh, the thing is, this is like a big major question for a lot of real estate wholesalers. You can play so many ways. You can look for properties and look for end buyers, or you can reverse wholesale, where you look for buyers, see how active and where it is that they're looking for, and look for those properties on those areas.
Okay. So
So
either or, huh?
either or, like I said, that's why I like real estate, because it just things are so unnatural, unconventional, and there's just so many things that you're able to do that it's just like you start picking up on those things. But whenever you're starting, it comes either or. Um, like I said, right now the example that Rico gave us, it's the example of a property that's listed with an agent. I reached to agents, and for this agent, the agent has a property and has worked previously on the fix and flip property. And it's just like little things like that that you come across. It comes out from like experience and then diving yourself into it, that like I want to bring the deal over to this agent, but maybe it's just not a deal that can work for it. So
Mm.
the step that I'm talking about is basically look for properties, then look for an end buyer. I just did both right now. We have an example where we found the property, and at the same time I'm looking for an end buyer. And that's part of the process. That's why comps is necessary, because you're finding comparables that are fully updated, and those fully updated properties are other investors in the area. So
Mm.
that's what I was looking for. I'm looking for those comparables. Is this a fix and flip and property that got fix and flip, or maybe it was the homeowner that updated the home. They spend the time and money to update it, and they try to get the most out of the dollar. So it really depends on that case from there. But part of my thing of when I'm looking for comparables is I'm looking for buyers as well too. Just
So
because,
it's safer to like find the buyer first and then sign the contract, right?
like I said, it really depends. Oh, wait, sorry, you asked a little bit different.
So you're saying, like at the same time you're like finding the deal and contacting the agent, you find the buyer and start like giving a little bit of information to
Yeah,
make sure.
I start giving a little
Yes.
information just so I can like get like a sense of how where are they standing right now in the beginning of the year, rates, because the buyer has to go through, either they have cash, cool, makes it even easier. If they go through you gotta find a buyer that is gonna go through finance, hard money loan, DSCR loan. There's construction. There's so many loans out there that any type of finance, that's gonna be a different type of buyer that maybe they have to get their finances or sell another property and they actually like this one and do whatever it is necessary. So things are going to be very, very different across from it. So for me, is I like to work with agents, because agents, especially if they're have other investors, have they brought this deal to another investor, or have they not brought the deal to another investor, or are all their investors already like outdated that they don't really have anybody else? And I'm coming in like, hey, I have actually me and my partners who might be interested in this, and I'm looking for buyers as well too. And so when I submit like a property, I want to get like just submit like an offer in right away. I try to look for buyers, just because again, I want to open up my doors already for buyers that are in the area and then are willing to like expand beyond that area, or are investing in outside of that area whatsoever. Just so I can add them to my buyers list. All right, cool. Now I know what you like. actually I come across a lot of these properties, or actually I look a lot into these properties. So if I do happen to have something, do I bring it to you? Do you want me to be do you want to be the first one to I can bring it to you right away because you want to move on with it, or how do you usually go through like your process from that?
Mm-hmm. So I mean, when you're talking to both sides, like agent and cash buyer, um, is it like okay to tell them like you're a wholesaler, or like they're gonna overreact?
So
How do you handle that part?
yeah, so agents, I tell them we do everything. We wholesale, fix and flip, buy and hold. Because again, that's my buyers. My buyers, I have a list of different types of buyers and partners, which I consider buyers my partners. So my buyers are my partners that they do everything. They do creative finance. They like to do seller finance. So we do everything. So when they ask, or they usually when they try to ask you if you're a wholesaler, they're trying to see like what's your exit strategy on this deal. What does it really matter? I can buy this property and not do anything with it whatsoever. And I'm just trying to get a deal out of it. It doesn't really matter what happens. So that's my relationship with agents already off the bat. I'm just letting know I have somebody who's interested. We just have to get like a deal because I'm running a business, they're running a business, and we want to make sure that we get our business cut.
All right, so basically you go to agent and you're saying like,
I'm a
I
buyer.
have a team of investors and like they
I
do
don't even tell
like
them
we do
investors.
everything.
It's
Got
just
it.
me and my partners.
Got
We're,
it.
we're my partners. I'm in California, so I'm gonna let them know because a lot of them that I reach out to are out of state agents. I'm out of California. My partners are actually looking to expand over here. We have other investments in this state, that state, and we're actually expanding over here. And we came across your property, and we're trying to see if we can get like a deal done on this one, and then try to go through like the process of asking what's going on with the property. Can you tell me more? What's the seller's motivation? How quickly they want to close? Are they looking for cash or finance? They don't really care, and then just go through those yards. Now, if I'm reaching out to buyers again, I'm trying to get their criteria, try to get to understand how active they are and what it is that they're looking for, so I can add them into my partners list because they could be the next person that can help me out on this deal. I don't know who my end buyer. That's the thing. End buyers, you never know who is going to be really interested on the deal. If you bring in the details of it's in this area, the ARV is this much, and you're asking for this much, they're gonna do their due diligence at times, most of the time actually. And they're gonna give you different numbers, but if you let them know how much you want out of the deal, comparable to what you got on the contract, don't ever mention how much you got on the contract, what your wholesale fee is, none of that. It's this is what I'm asking for. If you want it, cool. Let me know. If you don't, then that I respect that. It's just this is not the property for you.
Got it. And like for what about the like cash buyer side? So they're okay, like your wholesaler. How do you explain that to them?
Yeah, because part of the thing that we like to do is make sure that the properties are off market. Even if it's listed with an agent, we like to tell like the agent that if we can take the property down from being listed. Because if the buyer sees that it's listed on the market, but then we let them know that it's off market because we told the agent as part of our contingencies as well too is to get the property off the MLS or make it off market, then that helps it out even better.
What? I didn't get this part. Can you say that again?
Yeah. So if I'm working with the seller, it's always going to be off market, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
a lot of buyers, a lot of cash buyers and investors, they like that. They like off market properties. Some of them
Yes.
don't like properties that are listed on the market because they're overly priced. They already know the whole process with properties that are listed on the market. So if I'm reaching to agents and I'm bringing an offer in, we like to tell them that part of our process is to get the property off the MLS so that way it can be off market. Because our end buyer, when they do their due diligence, they got to check out the address either online and which they'll definitely do and let you know like, well, this property is listed on the market for this much. Well, I got it under contract already, and I'm asking for this much. So if the number that I'm asking for doesn't work well for you, then this is not the property for you. So let's say, for example, this one. I got it under contract for $45,000. It's listed for $54,900, and I'm selling it to an end buyer for $60,000. And they go over here to Redfin, Zillow, whatever it is that they use, and they see that the property is listed for $54,900. They go to question, well, why are you selling it for 60 when it's listed for $54,900? The reason why I'm selling it for that is because I already did the work. I got it under contract, not you. It's just they don't know how much I got under contract for, but that's what I'm asking for. So that's why I like to tell agents, I need this listing to go off MLS, so this goes away. Sometimes they like to do it, sometimes they don't, because again, part of their brokerage, it needs to be on the MLS, and it's perfectly fine if it doesn't. But when I have buyers question me why is it higher than the asking price, is because I already did all the work. I already got the property in the contract, set the contingencies, set the inspection period, already deposited earnest money deposit. I already cold called, build a relationship with the agent. So I already did all these steps. All you have to do is, if you're interested, buy it. If you're not interested, don't. Then this is not property. This property is not the best for you.
Got it. But I mean, on these examples like you had so far, usually like the asking price from the cash buyer is like way cheaper than the listing. So I think that should be fine on that part.
The ask from the cash
Buyer.
Well, that's the thing is we'll negotiate. Like if they want to bring an offer in, I like to ask them, well, my offer is $60,000. How much would you want to take it for? They're like 50. I'll take it for the 55 that it was listed for. All right, cool. They don't know how much I got on the contract for.
Yeah, got it.
I could have got on the contract for 30. I could have got on the contract for 20. Who knows? They don't know that. So
Got it.
much
So usually
property for is it's how I will want to bring like that offer in.
Got it. So usually like after you sign the contract with the agent and seller, you ask them to take it off market and then
We try to get them to get it off market from there. If they don't, it's perfectly fine. It will show over here contingent or pending, just like over here on the not this one. There hasn't been no been activity on this one, but some of them will say pending or on the under contingency, or right here under contract / pending. That's what some of these properties are going to be saying. So
got it.
that's what's going to show. Again, it's still going to show like what the property is listed for, but again, that's part of the thing is me, the wholesaler, already did all the work. So
Yeah, got it.
it just comes down to negotiating as well too.
But I mean, in like it's okay to tell like cash buyer that I'm wholesaler and like I have it under contract, right?
Yep. It's just this deal happened to be like on market with an agent, or the agent had it listed. I've known the agent for this much time. I haven't touched bases with them. I actually saw their name. I actually follow up with them, touch bases again, and just go from there.
Got it. Okay. Sounds good. I guess that was all my questions. Thank you so much. I
Of course,
appreciate
my
it.
pleasure. Yep. So yeah, all the education is everything. Any other questions you have, you can always do like a one-on-one with me, more guidance, like in person, with you or via Zoom, because I don't know where everybody's located. So that's also available. Role playing, marketing strategies, all that. That's what I do, like more on the one-on-one. Cold calling together. I can be like the silent partner or the other partner that comes in, and just I play like I play the aggressive investor because I always want to play it safe and just try to make the most out of every single deal. So that's the way I like to play with either sellers or agents. Again, if they don't like it, that's perfectly fine. I'll find somebody else who does, which there's always a lot of opportunities. Just like how I was looking earlier at the properties, I don't see this as 69 homes. I see this as 69 different agents. And then I don't have to get all of them to work with me. If I get half of them to work with me, awesome. They're gonna bring me 1 to like 2 properties, 3, 5, however many properties they do on a yearly basis. I'll work with that. That's a good amount of inventory. And the cool thing is they're gonna let me know all these properties beforehand. So there's before they get listed on the market as well too. Especially if I'm very active with them, very consistent, because that's how you build a relationship, is just being consistent as much as possible from there. But remember, part of the thing is always do your numbers, but any one-on-ones, it's available for you guys right there. And again, the recording will be on the educational side as well. And so if you guys don't have any other questions or anything else, that's it for today's. I'll see you hopefully guys on Wednesday.
Real quick, hello.
Oh, hi Rico.
Hello?
Hi.
Yo, oh sorry, I didn't even know you could hear me. I thought my audio is messed up, so it doesn't tell me when I'm talking or not.
No, I can hear
But
you.
real quick, just condition wise, like you were saying, that one's pretty bad condition. So what would you say is like a decent, like how would you go about pitching that one?
So pitching this one to who?
Yeah, if we were, or like say I have another one in mind.
Mhm.
But I know I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know we're
No,
already over there.
you're perfectly fine. Go ahead. I want to make sure I
But
answer
like-
your questions.
So like this one, I kind of looked at the comps, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
And then, oh wait, hold up. I think that's the wrong one. Let me check it out right quick. Oh no, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, like this one, I see some comps like recently sold for like 89,000 to 100,000 to 81,000.
Mm-hmm.
And so like that one obviously needs work. You can see from the recent one that I just showed you. So
Yes.
this one would be like a good one that you would say where you would actually like go into it and calculate how much.
So here, let me check it out. So we have 2 different zip codes. I'm looking at 2 different. So the first one you gave me was a zip code of 63,137, and this one is 63,134. So let me check that out. 63,134. So the first one, it wasn't a deal because remember we only found 1 comp that sold last year in July, which was listed by the same agent of the same property. So the thing is with this one, there's only 1 comp. So that's not really
Yeah,
good.
I saw that red flag.
So that's already like a major red flag. 2, there's not a lot of activity on the neighborhood.
Yep.
And then 3, the same agent that sold that only 1 comp, it has this property listed. So that means the agent's buyers are just not really interested on this deal. So 3 strikes, that's out for me off the bat. Okay.
Got you. Yes.
That's the reason for this one. Now for this one, the one that I'm looking at the moment, let me see where's it located. This one looks like it's in better shape. Looks like it was a rental, very well maintained actually. So this could be a good rental whatsoever. I know it's for sure it's just about updating like the appliances. Maybe somebody wants to like rent it out. That's the thing. I will always want to ask, was this a rental or was this somebody living in the property? So I will reach out, I will ask that question to like the agent. I want to get as much information because agents, they're already doing like a lot of the work and they know all the information, especially if they're working with sellers directly. So I want to get to know that and then get understanding who's selling this property, an investor or a first-time homeowner. I'm trying to scroll down to like the sale and tax. Here's another thing. The property has been listed since September, so it's been out for a little bit. It got under contract 2 times. So like I was mentioning, Shima, sometimes you can come across there's a little things that I pay attention to. So this property it was pending, then they canceled the contract, so it got relisted. Then it got under contract again, and they got relisted. So to me, this is one red flag because it's either 2 things. Those buyers or these buyers found something wrong with the property or something that it needs like heavy amount of money to get invested in, like foundation, major leak.
I see that. Yeah, something had
Something
to
with
have
the property.
made him back out.
Yeah, it's not a problem about the money, because it got like under contract, and it got under contract really quick. As soon as it got released, it looks like somebody else came in right away, like 7 days later. So it got under contract really quick. So it's not a problem about the price. It's more about the property. That's my reason
Yep.
already off the bat. But now for those comps that you're mentioning, oh, I need to find out where exactly it is. There's a park. We got elementary school. It's a good area. Awesome. Middle school. I don't know what this school is about. So off the bat, good area. Because again, I'm looking for schools. I'm thinking if there's a family who needs to rent this out, cool. There's schools nearby. There's restaurants nearby. There's plazas nearby. There's grocery stores nearby. I'm looking for all those things. And additionally, too, it's close to the airport. Awesome, even better. And you have a high school up the street. So this neighborhood, off the bat, I will give it like a B plus, a B plus, A minus of the area. So that's really good. But now I gotta find the truth of what's actually happening, and gonna be looking into different zip codes because again, looks like this zip code is different from over here, and it's perfectly fine because again, I gotta do my due diligence. The property, where's that? Oh, it's up here. So now I'm gonna look for properties that sold in the last 6 months. And okay, there's a good amount of action happening on this area, which is really good off the bat. I'm looking for most recently sold, but I gotta change my parameters because the square footage is different. So right now I gotta look for a 1,600 square foot to a 1,000 square foot home. So let me change that. So 1,000 to 1,600.
I
And
appreciate you taking the time, by the way.
yeah, of course, man. Okay, cool. We have this one January 10th. Really 5 days ago, not bad. I'm trying to see where my subject property is. I gotta check out this Frost Avenue because I don't want to. Okay, cool. Okay, we do have a double yellow line road. I'm trying to see how busy does it get. So C1. Okay, if I were to see like 5, 6, 8, and more cars, that would be like it's really busy. I'm only seeing 1 to 2 cars, so I think it's just like a major road for like this whole neighborhood. So it's perfectly fine. There's sidewalks as well too. So not a heavy, you know how we look at those parameters earlier, and then to try to stay away from double yellow line roads. Again, this is a Midwest property that we're looking into. So this major road, even though it's double yellow line, there's not a lot of traffic over here. So sometimes you do have to make exemptions on those things. So I'm okay with this road whatsoever, because again, I'm looking for my comps. The first one that pops up is that most recent one of 150. Great floors, awesome. Updated bathroom, lights. It didn't show the kitchen. Why did it not show the kitchen? I didn't see the kitchen. Oh, here we go. Never mind. There it is. Oh yeah, they even did the kitchen, and the reason you can tell there's new appliances is look at the dishwasher, brand new. It still has the blue tape or that blue cover on, so that's already really good off the bat. So this will be my first comp. Amazing comp off the bat. It's a 3.2 1,500 square foot home. So let me put in my number. So $80,000. Asking price from the agent. It's been under contract in the past, so do consider that as well too. Do you know if this property has a basement by any chance? Meanwhile, I'm doing this.
Unfortunately, I believe it does. Yes.
It does?
I can
Okay.
check it out.
Let me go to details so I can see if it tells me if it's crawl space, finished, unfinished. Fireplace, bedroom.
Maybe it does. No.
No, I don't see anything. Oh, it has basement. Basement is in block. It's a full basement. All right, cool. How big is this basement? Kitchen, bedroom. It's okay. They don't tell you. It's pretty fine. I'm gonna go half of the square footage. So, I'm gonna go with five. I'm gonna go with 550 just to play it safe.
When in doubt, do you always go half?
Yeah, I always go half. They're not really that big. I know Missouri very well. So they're always like half of that. Sometimes they're really close to like the square footage of the actual property as well too. But most of the time they're half. So this is 1276. So I keep on going back and forth. So 1276, yep. So far my first possible offer should be around $52,000. I gotta do my due diligence. Again, this property, it's in really good condition. It's just little touches. This could be more of a rental if it's been like a rental. So it'll be just paint, appliances, uh, yeah, paint, appliances, lights. So very light stuff whatsoever. I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna go with a $25 a square foot. And then half of that for the basement, $12. So total updates like about $38,000, which is perfectly fine for this property. So I need to find an ARV close to 150, which we just did. Awesome. So now let me look for properties that are selling around that. I have the first one that we found. It sold for $97 per square foot. It's listed right over here. So let's put that one down, 97. Let's see what the other one has. See what else we can find. Sorry, I have these other older tabs. And that's the thing about real estate wholesaling, you're always gonna be opening like so many tabs, especially finding comps. This one, kind of looks the same as the property that we're looking into. Again, usually for these are like rentals. I know this for sure is a rental that they do very minimal stuff to it as well too. It did sell recently. Okay. I'll really use that one. Let me see what else has been happening. But sorry, you were to say something?
Oh no, I just said bless you if that was a sneeze.
Oh, no, I was coughing. Sorry, I still have like a cough. There's another one right over here. Good one. I can tell by the lights because of how it was set up. And this has a full basement as well too. So walls, kitchen, amazing work on the kitchen, vanity for the bathroom. And this is what a fully updated basement looks like. This is the kind of work, especially for the subject that we're looking into. This is the kind of work that they will do. They'll keep the rug and then it's just like the walls and paint basically that needs to get fully updated. And there's like a bathroom down there. They'll probably update a little bit of the bathroom from there. But this is another amazing subject property. Sold in December 4th. Awesome. Square footage or price per square foot, 150. So this so far is looking like a deal to me. We just need to find that third one. We can definitely find it. We have a backup one, this one right over here, which is not too bad. It was a rental one, but let's see if we can find something else that got fully updated in the last 6 months. Not that one. Same thing with that one, not that.
I just want to thank you. I should take off. See you later.
Oh, yeah. No, you're good, Shima. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Have a good night. Bye.
Good night. Yeah, take care. Here we go. This is your third subject property right over here. Look at that work. What's the price square for this one? So this is currently being rented as well too. So the way I will get it is let me get my calculator. 1360. So it was $130,000. So $100 a square foot basically. divided by 1360, or like more like 92, 95. So 95, so go with 96. Awesome. Those are your three comps right there, man. So it was this one, $130,000, a little bit north, on the north side. But again, this Frost Avenue is not too heavy in traffic, especially with that middle school on the main road. That's perfectly fine. That's definitely okay. Don't worry about that. So this 130,000, the 160,000, and 150,000. All of it comes down to $146,000 ARV. And then the property is being listed for how much? $80,000. This is how much you guys want to get on the contract for. So not too crazy of a price reduction from the 80. But honestly, you can get away with getting under contract between $50,000 to like $60,000, and then your end buyers will definitely want to buy it for more than 63 and 75. They'll buy between 65 to like 75,000, maybe that $80,000 price point as well too.
So
So
that's a pretty good subject, you know?
subject to?
Or that would be a pretty good, I guess, like pitch to somebody, right?
Yeah, this property, if you get under contract, again, try to get under contract for less than $60,000. I'll start like at 50, then go up by like 55,
Like
then
5,000, like you say.
then 58. Now I wouldn't go too crazy because I want to stick to the limit of how much my end guy will want to buy it for. But again, this property, it's in really good shape. It's nothing too bad whatsoever. It's just we found strong ARVs for it. ARVs that are ranging from, as you can see, two of them are around 96, 97, and then one of them that sold for 1150, for 150. That 150 was smaller than ours. It was this one. It was 1,066. The one that you're looking at right now is 1,276. So it's 100 square feet more. But again, the property sold for a lot more. But based on the condition for this property, it just needs like a little bit of touches, or they can leave it as is. If you were to buy if you were to find a person who would want to buy and hold this property, they'll buy it above asking price or close to like the asking price.
Got you. Okay,
So-
yeah, that calculator, I love that calculator.
Sorry, one more time.
I love that calculator. That's insane. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, so that's the thing that I like about it is if you find a buy and hold investor, and again, go through the steps of the educational for that post, that blog post that I put in about how to find buyers. If you find buyers that have like 15, 40, 100 properties, those are buy and hold investors. They will buy this property off you right away, especially if you got it under contract for less than $60,000. You can make a $20,000 wholesale fee out of this property, honestly.
Gee, wow,
And so
that sounds pretty good.
but find out again, especially because it's listed within the agent. Reach out to the agent. What's going on? My partners and I, we're actually interested on getting this property under contract. We're doing some numbers, but we do have to be, again, play it aggressive, play it on the fix and flip side, because that's like the lowest number out of the calculator on the fix and flipper. This is the most that we're willing to pay. So again, you start at $50,000, go up 58, 50, 55, then 58. Then try to close it out at 60, maybe 61,000. And then once you get on the contract, pitch the property to a buy and hold investor and try to sell the property for 80,000, 82,000 maybe. So that way you can get, again, a good size of a wholesale deal. And then from there, if they start telling you more and more and stuff, hey, that's pretty fine. The lowest I'm willing to go on this deal is 78. But if you got it under contract for $62,000, again, you're still making a $16,000 wholesale fee out of the deal.
Yes, no, that's really good. Yeah, I think for sure I'll probably just get the one-on-one coaching with you so you could help me out a little bit more in depth.
Yeah, hey, I can help you out with that, dude. But this is honestly, this is a good deal off the bat. I'll mark this as a strong deal, especially with the comps that we found, the neighborhood being very strong, especially with the middle school right on a busy road, which is not even a busy road. It's just like the main road for all of these homes, and it's just a good neighborhood. That's a good property off the bat. It's all about finding like that buy and hold buyer that will honestly want to take like the deal of from here. And again, they'll see. It depends if you're able to get a like under contract and then get the property listed from the MLS, off the MLS. Maybe the agent will keep it, but they'll see the price tag of $80,000. Hey, I'll take 78. That's probably if you willing to for seriously buy this property, 78 is the most I'll take from the property.
Got you. Yeah, I like. Yeah, yeah, cool. Yeah, I think I might. Yeah, for sure. I like.
But yeah, again, if you want to do the one-on-one, book it through there. And again, get the calculators as well too. Use the coupon code, get the pro bundle so that we have the ARV and the rental one. And what's it called? Get the pro bundle, use the coupon code, not gatekeeping, all of it together. It can be capital, not capital, and you have access to the calculator from there. And whenever you're ready, book the one-on-ones and I'll check it on my schedule, and then you get automatically a Zoom link and we can work together on the deal so that we can close it out. I won't take any of your commissions. This is all you. I'm helping you close your deal on this one. So whenever you want to book it from there, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was thinking about it because I was in the lab too, but I just want to actually make sure I fully understand before I actually start working with you.
Yeah, hey, by all means, whenever you're ready, just book me, dude. But you have a strong deal. There's a strong deal over here as well too.
That's awesome. And you said too, if you book the one-on-ones, you pretty much help me like pitch that to them too, right?
Yeah. So because this is listed with an agent, I'll like what I'll recommend for you to do first is do your first pitch to the agent. Hey, I'm looking to get is your name Rico? Rico, right?
Oh no, you can just call me Isaac.
Oh, okay. Isaac, my name is Isaac, agent. I'm actually, my partners and I were actually interested in buying this property. Can you tell me a little bit more about the property? What's going on? Was this a rental or was this a homeowner that lived on it? To me, it looks like a rental, my experience, and just because of the condition of it. And then from there, just try to figure out, okay, well, we can close on this time frame and just try to see from there. So I'll come in more of like, look, we actually did our numbers. Our cash offer will be at this price point. Again, I'll repeat everything that you mentioned over to them with the contingencies that I was presenting you of the inspection period. So I want you to do it first, so that way you can get comfortable. If you're not really comfortable for it, then that's perfectly fine. Book the one-on-one and just let me know beforehand, so that way I can come in as that, and then you play the role of the partner that actually did like the numbers and it's like, yeah, I can't come up any higher than this asking price whatsoever. But again, we can close quickly. We can close quickly.
Nice.
You're able to keep both sides of the commission.
Got you. Yeah, no, that sounds good to me.
So there has to be a good guy and there has to be a bad guy in the conversation with an agent. So you decided which route you want to go, and then again book the one-on-one or whatever day you want to, and the time, and then we'll work on like on the cold calling, or we'll do the reach out together, and we'll go from there.
Oh, nice. That sounds awesome. All right.
Okay.
All right, my friend. Thank you for taking the extended time.
You guys are probably fine. This will be available for everybody else. It's educational, not only for yourself, but for anybody else who's might be going through like the same steps. So thank you for bringing those two opportunities today. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. No, thank you for your time.
Awesome. Well, I'll talk to you very soon then, Isaac. All right.
Yes, for sure. All
Awesome.
right, take care, my friend.
Bye.
Bye bye.